Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Haynes. I'm an audiobook narrator,
And I'm Trenton Bennett, and I'm also an audiobook narrator.
and we are also teachers of audiobook narration, working with authors who are wondering about the process, working with first timers, and working with seasoned folks who would just like to have a boost. So, Trenton, take it away with this week's topic.
This week, we want to make sure you understand that you have a skill. That sounds pretty obvious, doesn't it? But the thing about it is, this happens with everybody. When you get to a point in your talent where you've really honed things, you've had good coaching, you're confident, and you feel pretty good about your read, sometimes because the act of narrating feels very easy to you, you may lose sight of the fact that that is still a very important skill that not everybody can do. So it's important not to devalue yourself when you're negotiating with a rights holder, when you're talking to an author or a publisher, when you're speaking to other people about the fact that you're a narrator. That's not easy. And if you've done even 1 hour of finished audio, you know that's not easy. So give yourself credit for that and remember that is a skill that's taken a lot of effort for you.
There's something that I've told students before as well, which is that there is no substitute for time spent in the practice of narrating audiobooks. Because what tends to happen is the more work you do, the more there is a sense of this is what I do, this is where I belong. There's no substitution for this is what I do, this is where I belong. And, that just, that's what rings for me, that, if you have recorded, an audiobook, and believe me, my first audiobook was actually only 30 minutes,
Oh,
and
wow.
I was so stressed out about it, but actually having gotten over the hump, um, yeah, everything else fell into place. I also tell students, if you can learn to navigate a vehicle through your hometown, chances are that you are going to be just fine when it comes to hit the interstate for a cross country trip. It's just a few adjustments. So if you have successfully completed an audiobook project, then yeah, this is something to just keep in mind. A lot of people don't get to that step, just like you said, Trenton.
And that highway is a really good analogy as well. It is just small adjustments. I'd like to add to that I have heard directly from publishers that most of them don't look for how many audiobooks did you do. I'm really not going to look at you unless you've done 10 or 20 or 30 or 100. Typically, they're more interested in how good your demos sound and whether or not your voice sounds like a fit for their project. And they're far less likely to have a magic number in their head that they're going to talk to you when you've done X many. So keep that in mind because the folks who are looking at your auditions and the folks who are checking out your website and your demos, they're also gauging you based on the performance you've given and not particularly on whether you've racked up so many notches on your belt.
What I tell students is, you know, when you record a short audiobook, it's got the exact same dimensions of the cover that a long audiobook would have, right?
Yes.
And I just tell them, this is your body of work. Yeah, yeah, of course there's still miles to go before, you feel like you really are one of the big fish out in the ocean. But in the meantime, don't discredit or discourage yourself over these sorts of things. Again, if you've gone through the process, that's very, very powerful, and you've already gotten a step into what a lot of people don't make it into. So, thank you so much, Trenton, and as your audiobook narrators and teachers, I hope that our voices in your ears meet again real soon. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Matt.